give everyone a second to get on that link, get into the Miro board. I'm going to introduce myself as we're getting going. Hi. So I'm John White. I'm a management consultant. I'm a facilitator coach, and I'm basically a Miro addict. I use Miro every day now. I realized when I found it over 5 years ago, back when it was called Real-Time Board, and I know Rachel shares that same experience, that Miro is going to fundamentally change the way I delivered all my work. And indeed it has over the years. And so I've facilitated well over 100 workshops. As a lean consultant, I've done well over 150 performance improvement and kind of lean performance measurement projects. And I have 21 years of experience in the field. And with me today, our magical improv designer is Rachel Davis.
Yeah, and so you call me a designer. I actually have only been a designer. I've been designing for about 6 years of my 16-year career. So all self-taught. So you will actually see a lot of things here. I'm going to try to mostly use things within Miro, but I might show you some other tools. But really, you don't have to be a designer to create these beautiful boards that we're going to do on the fly here. So I am also a workshop facilitator and creative strategist with about, like I said, 16 years experience, and Miro is my jam. I love bringing in that creativity and design, those elements of design thinking and collaboration, and being able to do that virtually. And I've also been using it since it was a real-time board in 2016. So that is, it's been my companion ever since here.
Just can't seem to get away from it.
Well, I mean, that's a good thing. I don't want to get away from it.
No, I don't. I want everything to be in it, actually. So
yes. All right. And I see John's popping the Miro board link in there for you. Looks like we've got a lot of people on here already. Just for the sake of hello. Just for the sake of visual here, I'm turning off track cursors so we don't see everyone moving around on the screen while I'm building, but I can go ahead and turn it on as we're doing it for some of the video here until we get to the board build. I'm gonna pop that off so we can see the purpose. Feel free to, so John, go ahead and talk. You want to talk through today's purpose?
Yeah. So basically, we're going to build a board in real time. And we're doing this to show you that it's easy, that it's approachable, and that a lot can be accomplished in a short period of time, including putting googly eyes on my character avatar here, which is awesome. Thanks to whoever did that. Let's get a zoom in on that
fantastic.
Look at that.
Look, there we go.
Okay, this is why I love this stuff. Okay, so so we're also going to teach you a little bit about how to use some of the baked-in features that are in Miro, as well as a few features that are outside of Miro that amazing designers like Rachel use. I design stuff in Miro as well, but after working with Rachel, I don't call myself amazing. I call her amazing and me pretty good.
Well, we're all creatives, right? So you don't have to be a designer to be a Miro designer.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. But most importantly, we want to have fun today, and the googly eyes that we're seeing are definitely a testament to that. Rachel,
oh, look, I got some too.
Hey, that's great. Oh, yours are funnier. That's awesome.
Okay.
Rachel, can you just show folks in the Zoom shared screen where the reactions button is in the top right corner? Because we want folks, as we're going through the design, to be using reactions. So in the top right corner of your screen, you'll see like a little party favor blowout icon. And up there, you can click to send up a bunch of emojis. Excellent. So use these liberally as we're going through the design. If you like what you're seeing, that's going to be absolutely awesome.
Yes.
So let's just give a high-level overview of the board for right now so folks can see. We're going to go through a few quick activities to start. There's going to be some different votes so we can pick the color scheme. We're going to pick the themes for the board, and we're going to pick what the icebreaker activity is going to be. Following that, we're going to watch Rachel build that stuff out. We're going to come back for another quick vote for what the main activity is going to be for our little session for our board here. And then we'll get things wrapped up with a closeout activity, which is going to be a Q&A, which we will design and then run with you all. So that's kind of the main plan for the board. We'll also show you quickly that we have a mood board set up so that as the results of our voting comes through, we're going to be able to throw those in there and inform Rachel what the final take on the build is going to be. And then just slightly over to the right of that, we've created one of the interactive elements of the board that we're really excited for. It's the aha moment board. And so if you see us doing something that you didn't know how to do before, please grab one of those orange stickies and write in there what your aha moment was. And we're hoping that with as many people as we've got in this room right now, we're going to have a few aha moments so that we can all learn from each other and figure out, how we're supporting each other, which is going to be super bunch of fun. And then finally, next to that, for some takeaways for you all for attending the session, we've got some of our resources, and there's free resources, paid resources, and some different Miro tools that we use. So we'll cover that a little bit more as we approach the end of the session. And of course, below all that is the space where Rachel is actually going to build the board. So it's all blank right now, but soon it's going to be full of beauty. Yes. Okay. So is everybody ready to start getting the voting underway? Let's do it. So let's pull everybody to the first jar vote. Oh, thanks for using those reactions, everybody. That's awesome. So we're going to come into the first jar vote. And what we have here is 3 sets of gummies. And what we're voting on is the color palette for this design. So if you like the first color palette with the green as the main color, grab a green gummy and pull it into that jar. And then do the same thing if you like the purple or if you like the yellow. And we're going to give you just over a minute to do this, so I can actually get a timer rocking.
So make sure you drag your gummies to the right color jar. I see some purple gummies there in the green jar. I'm going to assume you either really like green or you really, if it's in that jar.
That's right.
Because we're going to show you a little, and actually I can show you the hack that John uses to actually count those items in the jar as well. We'll give it a little time to do that. Oh, you didn't set any music to the timer.
Oh, I didn't. All right, I'll set some music to the next one. How about that?
All right. Fantastic. We'll keep an eye on here, see if you're running out of gummies. It looks like because we've got about 124 people on the board.
Excellent.
Does that mean I win the bet or you win the bet?
I think it means that I win. Well, there's 159 in the Zoom session, and that's the number I want to use. Okay, we're just coming to end of time. 2-1.
Whoa! Someone really likes really big yellow. Gummy.
Unfortunately, that's only one vote. Okay, so let me quickly count. So we have 66 in the green jar. We have 60 in the purple jar. And we have 88 in the orange jar. Oh my goodness. So orange jar is going to win. So I'm just going to go into our mood board.
Let's call that yellow-orange.
Is it yellow-orange? Okay. Yeah. Yellow-orange. That's what we'll call that one.
Yellow-orange. I'm going to just show everyone real quick how you, well, actually, I can't do that on my board to see how many. Yeah, 90 objects, right?
Yeah, so there is some questions here. How do you count that fast?
Yeah, so do you see here? So if you highlight the objects there, it'll tell you how many objects. And because we've locked the other ones, it's a quick way to just kind of whoop. There you go, 60 there, 67 there. So quick way to kind of count those votes.
The one trick around it is if all the objects that you select are of the same type, it won't count them. It'll just select them all. So I've secretly added a shape behind these other images of the gummy so that it gives me that filter. So you just subtract one from the total and boom, it's a quick way to count votes.
Woo! Looks like we've got them all stacked there. Woohoo!
We got that stacked.
So I'll show you something real quick here, because they've all stacked. You can actually just, oh no, you can't do it with that one. We've got, okay, we've got a totem pole of gummies here, but that is the winner. All right, let's go on to the next vote.
Yeah, and if any of that explanation was an aha moment for you guys, make sure that you write that in the sticky below, because that'll be a good lesson learned for someone else. Okay, it's time for vote 2. Can we pull everybody to us here, Rachel, please?
Yes, I will bring everyone to me.
So here, because we have a Candyland themed board, candy is going to be all over the place. We have some wrapped candy here. So drag a wrapped candy piece to the left over outer space if you want an outer space theme, or to the right for monsters if you want a monster theme.
Yeah, and it's almost Halloween. Please. I think monsters is kind of fitting for Halloween, although I do love outer space. I love myself some astronauts, but cute monsters are really cute. I'm curious to see how this shapes up. It looks like we kind of split down the middle here. I'm curious to see what that adds up to. Do we need to add a little more candy pieces there because the amount of people on the board?
I will add a bunch more.
All right. John's going to go ahead and add some candy pieces in the middle there if you weren't able to get some, so you can go ahead and make your vote.
I also didn't start a timer, but I'm thinking. there's a
Whoa,
vote-
okay, someone just brought the whole voting thing over to monsters.
Okay. Was not expecting that. Very tricky, very tricky.
This is real improv.
It is, no kidding.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Make sure to use your reactions there.
Yeah, plot
And-
twist, as Caroline said in chat.
Jesse in the Zoom chat, undo when in doubt. Yeah, Control Z is one of
Yes.
my favorite buttons in Miro.
All right.
Okay, let me see. I got 176 on
Whoa,
the left.
whoa.
Whoa, that was a whole bunch there. 100. I'm counting 165 from that group that was just moved. So I'm going to say that Outer Space was the winner.
Outer Space is the winner. All right.
So let me grab Outer Space and get it into our.
This is definitely some real-time improv there.
It is. And then we also know that from that, our font is going to be IBM Plex.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so let's do our third vote and then move along with designing. So we're going to pull you down to what icebreaker we're going to use. And for this, we have 3 potential choices. 1 is this or that, 2 is caption this, and 3 is GIF story. And so go ahead and start grabbing 1 sticky or 1 gumdrop at a time,
Okay.
please, and drag it into the appropriate bag.
John, can you make some more gumdrops? I don't think that's going to be enough.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing
Yes,
better than watching
chaos
people-
is okay. Chaos is great for improv here.
That's right.
We
We
will
welcome
ask
it.
that when we're building the board, though, that you allow me to design it so I could show you some of the featers and
Yes,
and
please.
spend your time over in the aha moment boards on your own boards there. All right, give a little more time here. Let people vote.
This is looking so good.
Yeah. I can't tell though. I have to wait till you count them.
Okay, chaos is the new normal. I agree, Tom. And good to see you
Yeah.
here, by the way. I'll just keep putting the link to our Miro board in case there's any latecomers coming in. You can still enjoy and watch Rachel work.
Yep. Seeing some notes over on the resources. I see a little note there that says Blush is great, but it isn't free. There actually is a free tier. You can actually download PNGs for free. And then there's a pro version. But as always, read the licensing.
Okay, so it looks like we're getting close to done. So I got 104 for this or that. 64 for caption this.
Mhm.
And 51. So it's going to be a this or that.
I see Marina asking about what those icebreakers are. We actually purposely didn't give a description about those so that as we build them, they would be a surprise. But because we didn't, so which is the winner, John?
It's this or that.
All right. So because we didn't pick the other 2, I'll give a quick description of what the other 2 are. So caption this, and I could give some examples in the resource board afterwards, but caption this is where you throw a photo up there and ask everyone to caption the photo and have people react to it. And GIF story is where you build a story out of 3 GIFs and have your participants name and talk about the story after they name it in the warm up.
Very good.
So, all right. So we've got this or that, outer space. I've got my my colors there, right? So I'm going to show a couple quick things and we're going to get started designing here. I'm going to show a little quick way to grab colors on here, and I actually have it already set for time's sake here in some of the other one. Actually, I don't have that one, so we'll go ahead and do that. So quick way to grab colors is I'm just going to make some squares here. So I have the colors. Oh, let's ask while we're doing the board here if everyone can can allow me to go ahead and design just for time's sake and not move any of those elements around, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so quick way to grab those colors, eyedropper. Let's eyedrop that one. And you've got your color palette up here. So we'll do another quick eyedropper here. And grab this other color. So we've got it all set for our board.
Yeah, some folks might like to watch the Zoom screen share now. Just flip from your Miro board over the Zoom share. You'll be able to see better what Rachel is doing as part of the design.
Yes. So when I'm building a workshop, let's ask that people don't actually click on the board as designing there. Can someone who did that just go ahead and Control Z, please? I would like my board back. It's up here.
That might be a mistake.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a mistake.
Oh, it's just moved.
Yeah, it's someone moved it up here. All right.
I just threw in a new frame, Rachel.
Great.
So.
Perfect. And it's definitely improv. So let's ask that people don't actually click on the board as we're doing that.
Yes, please.
All right. So we'll go ahead and change the background here. So one of the things I like to do when I'm doing a workshop is to have a quick little instructions sidebar over here with a title. So we know that our theme is outer space, and IBM Plex is our font there. So we'll go ahead and use this and let's put the name of the session here. And we actually have a purpose for outer space, that we are designing a new space station. So we can put our title here for our board. Many times I like to go ahead and put the date underneath. So let's say October 20th, 2021. It helps if you can spell. And then I like to go ahead and let's change this to white and get rid of that background there. All right, so sometimes I also like to, we'll grab one of these, we'll reuse a square, and we'll have some sections here on the sidebar. So I like to put who our facilitators are up front. So you might want to grab this here and say, your facilitators. Let's make sure we've got the right IBM Plex Mono and we've got the right size here. Is that from you, John?
It is, yes.
All right, cool. So we've got our little photos here. And so sometimes I'll go ahead and put the little photos there. We'll put our names next to it. Right. And then we've got, sometimes I'll put underneath here. Sometimes you do go left of the line here and you've got to go ahead and put some spaces here. We'll do the same thing here. And you might want to put your rules of engagement here. So that might be, go for quality, no judgment, those lovely rules of engagement for design thinking are great. All right, now let's get to that this or that. So the this or that is one of my favorite warm-ups. And so one of the things you can do here, it's going to be a little slider like we had before. A great thing to do sometimes is to create frames for your activities. So you'll see this is pretty big because that was the last frame we made. So go ahead and bring this over here. Sometimes I do a little welcome to Miro frame here. We don't have time to build that today, but it would just be welcome to Miro and some hints and tips. And then we go right into our icebreaker. And so we'll have a little frame here for this or that icebreaker.
And I love how you reuse assets once they're built, because why reinvent the wheel and drag a new one in and try and get it all perfect?
So I love to have some directions for each of our activities. And so I've got quick directions here we can use for that, this or that. But you'll notice I brought it over here and it's the wrong color. So we've got to make it the right color from our yellow palette. I've already got it in my things here. And then I like to put a little timer there. How long is this or that going to take? It's going to take about 5 minutes. Use some shapes and icon builder to build that. All right. And then let's go ahead and in real time here, we're going to build a little this or that activity. We're assuming we have about 3 participants here. So let's go with coffee or tea as our first one. Let's look for some coffee icons. That looks like a good one. Here's a coffee icon here, and one that looks a little more tea-like as well. So let's go ahead and you can either click on them and then they'll go to a certain spot on the board, and then you can resize those at the same time here. Go coffee or tea.
Of course, the answer is coffee.
I kind of like tea. Coffee or tea, right? So you could do as many of these as you want. What I like to do is group them, go ahead and copy and paste them. Could be something related to the workshop, like maybe it's Apple or PC. That's a big question there. You know, we love that. So you could just go ahead and switch this out for Apple or PC. Let's see. Someone says they hate putting frames within frames. I do that sometimes I don't. Let's do Windows here, Apple or Windows. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. It helps if you need to print the boards or PDF the boards. So let's make sure we're using the right font here.
It's great for presenting too. If you're doing a workshop and you want to jump around to different frames, you can do that easily.
Yep. And because we have, let's get our Windows icon here. So you just use a little icon finder, find your Windows icon. So you'll see that I'm doing this fairly quickly here. You can also create your own icons if they fit your brand or anything like that. But this is real quick, just using tools within Miro. And so last one we're going to do here in the this or that. Since we are in space, maybe we'll do something like rocket. Right here we got a cool there's a cool rocket.
Oh, that is a cool rocket.
Yeah, we'll do rocket or airplane. So thanks for helping me out there. I don't know who that is, but thanks for helping me out. All right. So we'll go ahead and we'll do a quick we'll be cheeky here and do a quick little airplane. All right, so we know we have 3 participants here. So one of the good ways to do this is go ahead and give them some dots with participant name for each. And then you'll just take these 3 dots and you'll go ahead and place them in the center of each this or that, right? And you're gonna ask them, hey, drag them to the other side. So you saw how we did a this or that with a large group above. This one in particular is for a smaller group. All right, and then what you'll probably want to do is lock everything except your dots. So select everything there, go ahead and group it and lock it. Oh, we got Han Solo, Chewie. Who'd you say last time? Just Joe Spaceman?
Yeah, Joe Spaceman.
All right. There you go.
Look at that timing. An icebreaker done in just 9 minutes.
Woo! That was very quick, right? So obviously you can make this a little more lined up, aligned, right? But this was just quick and dirty icebreaker. Usually when I do these icebreakers, I have probably about 6 of these this or that as we're doing the icebreaker. So
very good. So I'd say for this, I'll award you 32 points, Rachel. Good build.
All right, good. I don't think the points matter, but that's cool.
They never do.
I put a little spaceship on there. I'll show you where I grabbed that from before. I'm going to go ahead and lock that. I'll show you. I grabbed those from Undraw. But we're going to get everyone to go ahead and vote on the main activity. And I think you're going to have to bring these up here.
Yeah, how did that even happen?
There was a frame that got put underneath it and it got moved with the frame, even though it was locked.
Okay, so let's see if I can unlock these. Just a second. Bring them up. Get our voter up there.
Yep.
Okay, so let's first reveal the purpose for our workshop, and that is going to be dun dun dun. We're designing a new space station for a colony arriving at Mars. So that's the whole purpose of this workshop that we're having. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to just give a quick little description about each of these activities since they were asking about it for last time.
Excellent.
So Rosebud Thorn is just a way to kind of identify positive and negative things. It's a brainstorming activity. Sometimes people use it as retrospective. I like to use it for brainstorming. And best and worst ideas brainstorms is a really great brainstorming and ideation session where you start with your worst ideas and get into your best ideas.
That's it. That's it. Okay,
All
so
right.
we know what we're voting on. I'm going to start a 90-second timer. This time music will be included, so get ready for that and vote for the activity that you want to do.
Well, this is great music for this.
Uptown Funk. You can't go wrong with funky music.
Well, it looks like best and worst ideas brainstorming is winning here.
Not that that should lead anybody to putting in a mad rush for roses, buds, and thorns.
Can you add some more gumdrops there, John?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Who wanted more gumdrops? I wish I could have
There
real
you
gumdrops
go.
that easily in life. Wouldn't it be great?
Boom. Make sure you're only dragging one gumdrop. Let's make sure everyone has one vote. How we get like a gumdrop snake going on there. Just grab the gumdrops right next to the bags over here on the left-hand side. Click and drag. I see David asking in the chat. We got about 14 seconds left here.
And our funky town's coming to the end. All right, well, it's a nice visual vote, this nice big gumdrop. That was a nice touch, but isn't going to mask the fact that Rosebuds and Thorns lost. So let's get some celebration reactions up here, as many as we can get going for best and worst ideas brainstorm. Let's see it.
Woohoo! All right.
Thanks, everybody.
So let's get back down to our board here. It looks like a couple people are copying some things under here. Oh, so it's just someone lined it up for me. All right, let's bring it down here. All right. Oh.
Hey, quick question, Rachel.
Yeah.
So where did you design the original gumdrop? Someone has a question on that.
Yes, those I actually designed in Illustrator. I'm going to show you a quick way here how to actually do things in Illustrator quickly, as well as some other free tools. So we'll go ahead and make our new board here, and we'll go ahead. The reason we used gumdrops instead of Miro voting was because we were going to use dot voting. It was easy visually in a session like this where there's a lot of people, and kind of went with our theme. Switch back and forth depending on the type of audience and what we're doing. Also so us facilitators don't get bored.
That's right. Yeah, the voting feature within Miro works awesome. Just sometimes we want to theme it up to what you're going for with Candyland and gumdrops.
All right. So
you want some music while you do this design, Rachel, or no music on the timer?
No, let's just have you kind of give me a little MC there, right? So we're gonna do our I'm going to go ahead and lock this board so I don't move that. I'm going to also go ahead and lock it so we don't get people playing around there. All right. Not that we don't want you to play around. We would love you to play around. So we'll go ahead and get this. Usually for a best worst brainstorm, I like a little bit of time. So we'll go ahead and call this best and worst brainstorm. All right, let's move our little timer over here so we have a little more time here. It'd be great if Rachel could spell. And usually I like to give myself let's give ourselves 35 minutes here. So we're gonna ideate here, ideate and get the ideas out, right? So for best and worst brainstorm, I like to use a couple different steps in my best and worst brainstorm. So we're diverging, going wide on ideas, and then we are converging on those ideas, and a little bit of spelling while participants watch is too much pressure. It definitely is. All right. So I'm gonna grab this over here so you all can see some of the ideas. So actually, this is our overall directions, and we're gonna go ahead. Actually, let's do this, right? See, I'm gonna go ahead and delete these. Boom. And we're gonna do worst possible ideas first. And we're gonna go ahead and make that the right color. We're using our yellows. So it works great to have our yellows here. Not there. Looks like someone moved the board again, John.
They did indeed.
Let's go ahead and lock that.
Yeah.
All right, great. If we could just kindly ask everyone to please stay off the board while I'm designing, it will make it quicker for us. I promise you'll get a chance to play soon.
We do love collaborating in Miro, but this is not the time.
Yes. All right. So we're going to go have a little area to go wide on the worst possible ideas. So we'll make sure we've got a little. Whoop. So apparently I decided to turn that circle around. So we've got a little 1 there. Let's make sure we're using our right font here.
And remember, folks, if she's ahawing you, wowing you with any of this stuff, go make a note of that up above in that aha moment board. We really want to hear what you're learning and what's affecting you. What's
all right. If I could ask everyone to please stay off the board while I'm designing, I'm not able to click if you're on there.
Evo, what's up? You got to let off that space. There you go. Thanks, sir.
I was trying to change the font.
I appreciate the help, I do, but all right. So go ahead and change those. So you see, I changed all those fonts all together to IBM Plex Mono. Might be a little much to have all those reading like that. So we could even change that back to Arial if we wanted. All right. So we're gonna go wide for the first step here, and because our theme here is Spaceman, I'm going to show you a little stuff you can do in Undraw. And so we've actually chosen colors within Undraw for this real quick. So we know we have our yellow here. And we're going to do, and these are on the resource board, and we're going to go ahead and search for space. All right. And so we've got a couple different spacemen here. So we could use any of those. I've also got some space assets in Illustrator. I'm going to show you how I do that. I like this little guy. Let's go ahead and you'll see we just go ahead and download the SVG. I've got my browser set up so it actually goes in the bottom bar. Just switch right over to Miro and then pull the SVG right up there.
And why SVGs, Rachel?
So SVGs scale better than PNGs. You're not going to lose quality when you make them larger. And they also, I've found, load a little quicker on the Miro boards. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of use this as an overall graphic for the board. And we are going to go ahead and look for a little icon here for what do we say? Worst ideas. What did we look up last time? Bad. Bad.
I like that guy.
So we just let's search for the right thing. We're gonna go wide on the worst ideas here. So this is go wide on your worst ideas. All right, so we're gonna do that. And the questions we're gonna ask here are, you know, the first one here is how might we? Worst possible ideas for how might we design a new space station on Mars. Really can't spell. There we go. And what we're going to do for that first step there is we're going to have those ideas. And then on the bottom of the board I'm going to draw is the evaluate piece. And what we're going to do there is what makes these bad? And that's your evaluation piece. So let's make sure we're in the right IBM. All right. And then we know that that's step number 2 there. All right, so we're going to make a quick little kind of matrix here, a little box for our go wide. So we're going to get some lines in here, right? So we're going to have our worst possible ideas at the top. We're going to, if you hold shift down when you're making a line, it'll automatically make it straight and you don't have to worry about if that line was straight or not. Let's get this in here. Let's make a little dotted line and get that a little thicker. And so at the top here, you're going to have your worst possible ideas. And then at the bottom, you're going to have what makes those bad. And so we're going to add some stickies here. We're going to go ahead and use yellow stickies. I really like using the longer stickies. I'm going to have John help me out here and make several stickies on the top and on the bottom while I go on to the next piece there. And so that is our worst possible ideas. And next, we're going to think about some best possible ideas. So we look at those worst possible ideas first and what makes them bad. And it's a great way to get people started and let their inhibitions down, right? Because they're going to not worry about whether what they're saying is right. They're just going to be like, all right, worst ideas, let's go. All right. So we're going to do best ideas brain dump is the next one.
You want me to unlock the frame and widen it for you?
I got it.
Oh,
I got it. Woo.
You're on it.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly change all these fonts. I think we changed these back to Arial last time. All right. And we'll change the, oops. What we'll do is we've already got these set over here. So we'll go ahead and just grab, unlock that, and we'll just grab this over here, reuse this element, and go over here. So these are just kind of quick and dirty here. Best idea, whoa, let's make this match with this one. And we're gonna go ahead and do our best ideas brain dump over here. Best ideas. There we go. And so we know that these times aren't right now. We can go back and change them. These are each 15 minutes. John, if you want to change that first one, that's cool.
Sure.
All right. What's that?
Nothing.
Right here.
Just said sure.
Oh. All right. So we've got our best ideas. And then one of the things I like to do for this is create circles. So we're going to go ahead and create a circle. We've got, that does not look like our right yellow. Oh, it's just, there we go. Nice. So we'll create a circle. We'll create one in between. In the middle, we'll go ahead and make this middle circle. It's kind of like a planet for outer space here. And we might put our how might we question in the middle. How might we design a new space station for Mars, right? And then we're going to answer these questions. All right, we're going to go ahead and answer, what other industries might be doing work that we can borrow from. What's a solution that's an opposite of what we said over there in the bad? So let's go ahead and get those. John, if you could just keep monitoring the chat for me for any questions, that would be awesome.
Yeah, actually, there's one right now about how did we do the Candyland board, the curved line that makes a pattern. I think that's our roadway.
Yeah, we can actually answer that towards the end, but I also created that in Illustrator and brought it in as an SVG. All right, so for the very end of the best worst brainstorms, what I like to do here is have this come over to cluster some of those ideas. So we'll go ahead and get first let's get some of these stickies in here and basically just kind of put them around there. There you go, give people stickies to kind of answer on there. And then we'll go into kind of a plot and prioritize. And so what we're gonna do is plot and prioritize on a 2x2 matrix. And so here's some directions I like to use for that. Go ahead and do that. We're gonna head plot and prioritize. We're gonna change all our tunes here. I'm probably gonna need another minute past that timer so we can get some vote.
Okay, one more minute granted.
One more minute granted. Woo! It's a good thing John likes me. All right. Change that to our mono and let's change it to our yellow. Now let's make sure we've got the right font here. Man, this is hard to do in 10 minutes. Let me tell you.
You're doing a great job though. Let her know how good a job she's doing with your reactions, folks.
This is, for a perfectionist like me, you guys, this is great. Getting in front of all of you and being able to do this on the fly.
You're awesome. This is great.
All right, so we've got our plot and prioritize. Let's go ahead real quick and just change these. Select them all and change them together. All right. So we're going to use a quick 2x2 matrix here. What I like to do is give a little box of dotted box so people can bring over from those ideas. Usually I'll have a co-facilitator do this. We'll bring over those things that we did. Okay. Thanks. I thank you for the heart. I appreciate that. All right, so these are right. This will be your best ideas here, and usually I'll have a facilitator make copies of those and bring those over and organize them a little better over here. All right, and so we're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna, for time's sake, give you a quick matrix here. You can actually create this using boxes in Miro. Mm-hmm. And this is a great one, from easy to implement, impossible to implement, lowest impact to highest impact. And then you'll just go ahead and have your participants plot their best ideas on here in those areas. And then you'll see what kind of bubbles to the top, the easiest to implement with the highest impact in this corner here. And then, on the fly, you can even tell them, all right, this is where we're, and we had best ideas over there. We'll do a quick little yay guy over here. All right, so we had the timer up. I see people kind of designed it under there as well. All right, so we've got our best ideas, we've got our implement, and then usually I'll do a little vote box at the end here. And I'll have a vote and vote. And I like to do a background color on that usually so they can see it and make the type a little darker. And so we'll make sure that this is that. And then you were talking about using the Miro voting. We can either use dots, or another thing I like to do here is use emojis. Mm-hmm. So we got the emojis here, and so I'll look for a heart, I might look for maybe a green heart here. No green hearts. We'll just say heart. And there you go. And we know that we have 3 people in here, so I give each person 3 votes. We'll align these here and go ahead and give 3 of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, vote on their top 3. All right, and then that is a full best worst ideas brainstorm. What someone said, what was that align? All right, so if you've got here, let's go ahead and get them kind of here. If you highlight them all and use the little quick align here, you'll get this. If they are images, so even if they're your own SVGs or emojis, if you pull it out, it'll change the spacing between it. And you can do that way. If it is circles or shapes, when you try to do that, it might change the size of the shape. So it only does it really spacing if it's an image.
Can you show them the spacing and the alignment using the other tool there, Rachel? If you select a bunch of stuff, that little graph. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got, so we've got some hearts here. And so we've got this other alignment tool here. If you wanted them all to line up, you'll see then they kind of overlap, right? And you're like, oh, I didn't want them to overlap. I want to see all of them. Then you'll use your smart align. Yeah. But let's say you have a line of things and they're all like you're like, I want them to be equidistant. You can either use the smart align or use your distribute here. Yeah.
Auto spacing, alignment are both in that menu there. So very useful to get things organized in a hurry.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd say that build is worth about 62.5 points.
0.5.
Yeah, you lost a half point because one of your green hearts ended up out of alignment. So there you go.
Oh, okay. Well, I do want to show a couple things before we get to the Q&A here. So I want to show some things about we've got Undraw. I showed you Undraw, but I also wanted to quickly show some elements that I created in Illustrator and show you how to grab those. You were asking about the gumdrops. And so, well, actually, do not where there they are. It's like, where are those? So I'm going to show you real quick. You can't see my window that's open right now, but I actually exported a bunch of assets from Illustrator. And I'm going to show you how you can actually drag them all at once. If you highlight them in your Finder window or wherever and just drag to the board, they will all go at the same time. So you see here, I have these assets and they all go onto the board at the same time. You see them down here, they're a little smaller, but you can actually highlight them and make them all bigger at the top there. So you kind of see they're all bigger, and you can see how if you use the align tool here, you can actually change the spacing between them, make these a little bigger. So we've got some space elements here. So if you wanted to go through and put some things on your board that actually related to your theme, you can actually kind of get some space themes in there. I know this was Mars, so why don't we go ahead and put, how might we create a new space station for Mars? So that's a way that you could kind of use those Illustrator assets. If you go to Adobe Stock, that's where I pulled these, right? So you look on Adobe Stock, this is actually a paid stock tool. And if you look, yes, you can change Illustrator assets colors in Illustrator, but not in Miro. They're uploaded as SVGs.
Yeah, so just save them in your library. Then you can, Rachel's shown me this a few times, you can just easily change the core of the palettes and get them back into Miro as SVGs in about less than a minute.
Yes, and Unsplash has free, you can actually, there's actually an Unsplash plugin here in Miro. That's another one of the tools. However, I've also have a list for you all here of some other free stock photo resources.
Nice.
So one of the other integrations love here is Undraw symbols. So it doesn't have all of the, oh goodness, can't pull that up here because it's in the Miro team.
I have it, but maybe you need to enable it too. That's weird.
Yeah, I do. I need to enable it.
Authorized.
Oh, there we go. All right, cool. So you've got Undraw symbols in here. And so we were yellow. You can actually pull the symbols right from here. We've got, we weren't using space monsters, but if we were, you could pull these little monster guys over here. Except they went behind that show. There they are. There they are. You can't see them because they're there. So we'll put them over here.
Blue.
Yeah. So you just pull those resources from Undraw. You actually have to install that one. It's not standard in Miro.
Yeah.
Someone asked save items in your library. I think what John was referring to there was my Illustrator library, my Adobe stock library. So you'll see here, this is my Miro distributed library on Adobe stock. It's just saving things there. All right. Where do you go to install Undraw? I've got a link for you right here. So just click on this link under Miro tools and it'll take you to where you have to be logged into your Miro account and you'll be able to install that. The other two are in there already. All right, so let's go ahead. I think we're going to build a quick Q&A.
Very quick.
Very quick. Sorry about that.
Yeah, and I'm just going to maybe ask you some other questions as you do that to see if you can build and use the brain as well. So people were just wondering where you got the glass jars and bottles and gummy bears.
Also created those in Illustrator.
Okay.
So I used a stock photo from Illustrator that I purchased and I customized them in Illustrator.
Are the apps native to the user or the account? To my knowledge, they're native to the user, and I think Rachel just proved that.
Yes.
Rob, I know Rob Johnson's out here somewhere. He might be able to pipe in with a definitive answer on that, but we're pretty sure it's for each person individually.
Yeah, and I'll show real quick how to use the Unsplash one as we do the Q&A here. We've got astronaut. Okay, you guys are really testing my astronaut. There we go.
Carolina, we want to slow down and take our time with this. We absolutely do, but we only have so much time left.
Unfortunately,
in the session,
yeah. Unfortunately, we have to. Originally, it was 45. We got them to give us a little bit more there. So I'm going to show you quick how to use. Did everyone see there? I just grabbed this astronaut guy from Unsplash. All right, so we grabbed astronaut guy. Let me do quick little instructions for our questions over here.
Unsplash is built into Miro, and it's part of the additional apps in the list, and it has great high quality photos. It's lacking a bit in variety, but has some really great. Caroline, you can connect with either of us on LinkedIn. I do Miro training for new users, and I kind of split them up into people who want to create Miro experiences and people who just want to be able to learn enough to contribute to do the dot voting and all that kind of stuff. So feel free to reach out via LinkedIn to either of us. We are certainly available for all kinds of great designs.
All right, so you'll see here what I'm going to do with this Unsplash photo that I pulled on. So I'm actually going to crop out that Earth. And I'm actually going to make a square underneath here, and I'm going to match this color. So I'm going to go ahead and create a square, and I'm going to go ahead and use the eyedropper to match the color of that. That didn't work because it's opaque. It's opaque, right? There we go. Woohoo! So I matched the color of that photo, so it looks like it's supposed to be there, and it's supposed to be with it. And I'm actually going to expand this to the edge of the board. And what you're going to see here is it's actually going to create a backdrop for our Q&A. And so we've got kind of overlapping here. And what you want to do now here is you want to group these and you want to lock them so people don't move them. So right now we've got our little astronaut guy, and we're going to build a little thought bubble for him. We're going to get our circles over here, and we're going to build a little dot here. We're going to make this white so you can see it. You can zoom in real close to do this because we don't want it that big. So we're just going to create this little, you could see Unsplash. So this is why we use SVGs. I just did this so you could see it. So usually I would use an SVG guy so he doesn't pixelate. So you can see how he's a little pixelated there, but that's only if you're zooming in real close like I am here.
Yep.
Let's look at some of our shapes over here. We want him to have a thought bubble. So let's go ahead. We've got a cloud within Miro here. So we'll give this guy a little thought bubble here. We're going to write inside the thought bubble. Ask me anything. That's super tiny. So we're going to make it really big. And we're going to make it bold. There we go. We've got our little guy. So we've got our thought bubble. John, will you go ahead and start making some stickies there?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And I told you this guy was a little pixelated. So let's go back to our Undraw and see if we can find another little astronaut guy. How about this guy? Let's go ahead, download the SVG to our board there. See if he works. He's not really floating, so that might not work in the middle there, but he's kind of cool. So maybe we'll put him over here by the voting and see if we got another little floaty guy somewhere in here. This guy's a little floaty. We already used him, but let's use him over here instead. You can see, you can even just cover up that guy. You're like, oh, he's too pixelated. I don't really like that. Yeah. So I'm gonna just go ahead and maybe cover him up with this guy. There we go. So, all right. So we've got our post-its here. I'm gonna make these a little smaller so we can get more of them on there. So you'll see with post-its, you can change the spacing as well with that align.
Yeah. Post-its are great too. With the text in them, it auto sizes to always keep it at a manageable level. You can set the font size automatically, but otherwise it'll grow or shrink as you kind of need.
Yep. All right. So I know we don't have much time, but if you guys have any questions you want to pop in there, we can actually answer them after the session as well.
Oh, right. Caitlin, thank you for reminding me. Okay. Rachel, can you just show quickly how we would export some or part of this board as a PDF?
So there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can view your frames using this bottom left-hand corner, and it'll show you every board and what you've named it. And then you could just click the export as an image, export it. If you do export as an image here, you can do small, medium, large, or vector, which is the PDF, and you just export it that way. Or you can click on the actual board. Oh, sorry. There we go. And then do export as image, and it'll give you the same options.
Thanks so much to everyone for coming. If you have to jump out in the next minute or two, I love these kind words you're sharing with us. You are all amazing. You've been amazing participants. Keep smashing those reaction buttons too before you go if you love this session.
Woo, that was a lot. I think I'm sweating here. That was a lot of stuff going on here. Woo.
We do have one question. Do you create your backgrounds in Illustrator?
Which backgrounds?
Yeah, and do you have any go-to sites used for backgrounds? I'm guessing maybe like the Brick Road or.
Oh, so those I create in Illustrator. There, you could use Adobe stock if you wanted to search for vectors or illustrations. There's open source. Thank you everyone for all these questions. If there's any that we didn't get during the session, we can answer afterwards. Another way to create those, you can bring a designer on board, or if you want to do them yourself, you can look for some of these open source like Blush. I'll show you this one actually. So Blush, you can actually, there's a whole bunch of different icon packs. You can download them as SVG. Anything you download as SVG, you could bring into something like Illustrator or Affinity Designer and change the colors of. And there's some people were talking about, there's different tiers here on Blush, but there's a free tier where you can actually download as a PNG. But remember, we talked about SVGs are best. And so that's a pro account here. So you could SVG these and change any of the colors. So any other questions you're seeing there?
Some in the, can we add additional colors to tags? That's kind of a feature question.
Yeah.
Tags are limited, as are sticky note colors. I'm sure there's a great reason for that, but as of right now, no plans to do that.
Yes.
Someone else was asking, oh, you can go ahead with another answer.
Someone asked, could you please share that info? Can you clarify which info?
Oh, sorry. He was asking which training, which Miro training is the best. And I said my training, of course. But yeah, so we can post in our LinkedIn links again. You can connect with us that way. Send us a DM if you want to get into it. We both do Miro training, onboarding, and orientation. Miro also, though, has the Miro Academy, which has a whole bunch of great videos that get folks started. But Miro is a massive tool. And as you can see, the things you can pull from Rachel and my brain are quite unlimited and infinite with the ideas. So sometimes it does help to have a purpose in mind. Someone else was asking about where does the inspiration come from? Certainly, I get inspired from choosing themes, from seeing pictures, images, or brand colors for a specific company, knowing what they're about, what they're going for with a particular workshop. That usually gives me the right inspiration to at least to get going with things.
Also, a question there about seam to drag and drop, always on the hand icon. If you click the arrow on your left-hand side and it turns blue, that's when you'll be able to drag and drop. Or are you talking about drag and drop images into the?
Not sure.
No, Mino. Yeah. Oh, she got it. Looks like she got it. Okay.
Excellent.
Or
excellent.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I can't see anyone's face.
It's okay. Will either of us be doing another workshop to distribute? No, I was supposed to do another one, but it was scheduled at the exact same time as this one, and the improv challenge was just too much to pass up. So,
plus you got to facilitate with me.
I would never pass up an opportunity. I highly recommend no one in the crowd here pass up an opportunity to work with Rachel. She's absolutely amazing.
Oh, this was a challenge for me. Let me tell you though, because this is the first time we've ever done a session like this. John and I have created boards collaboratively together where we've had more time, but this was a challenge to kind of do it on the spot and be on the camera. And
yeah. I know we're not going anywhere. I just like to answer another question. Someone asked, how do you decide what zoom level to start working in? I always put my screen at the 100% zoom and start my design that way. That way, if you're accidentally zoomed out too far and you've designed everything to be so huge, you'll notice that when you make lines thickness more thick, you won't even see it if you're zoomed too far out. So if you're in at that 100% level to start, then you'll start to figure out if you're doing breakout rooms that you want to make a lot smaller or contextual areas that you want to make a lot bigger. And you can kind of start adjusting once you've started at that 100% level. So that's the way I kind of approach it. How do you group images or text? Okay, so the deal here is you hold your shift key and then you drag and select multiple objects. And then once you do that, a little menu is going to pop up above the objects or below the objects you've set it. And there's going to be a square button that says group when you hover your mouse over it. And then you hit it and everything is grouped and will move together. And another little tidbit around that. So it's great to group things together. Like, let's say you want to create trading cards for your workshop attendees, which is always a really fun way to get some personality on the board. Once you create the framework for that card, you might want to group all those shapes together.
Someone just, there we go. Do you feel like I was just moving, I was some stuff back on the board so everyone could see these. So I had some people moving some. Well, there you go.
Yeah, so when you group objects together, you'll see when you click on the group, it'll select everything within the group. You can then double click on that group to start selecting individual pieces of it, and then double click again to start editing text. So you can actually edit items that are grouped together.
All right.
What are some other, I had the scale problem when making templates independently. I could recommend creating post-its at a medium size. Check that all your docs are built around the medium size. Otherwise, you bring things together from different boards and they are different sizes. Yeah, Sebastian, that's an excellent approach to it to keep things consistent and evenly sized. Creating something like a large or a medium sticky will certainly give that to you.
All right. I think that's all the time we have. I think we could go on for hours. Also, I think the demand is very high for the Rachel and Jonathan improv troupe. And so we will probably have to figure out how to make this a regular occurrence for our Miro community. So thank you so much, Rachel and Jonathan. That was incredible. I loved it. And I can see in the chat, everyone was loving it too. So appreciate you guys so much. That was amazing.